Friends Indeed is a faith-based organization. Every year at our jazz event, we honor a congregation who has been supportive of our mission throughout the years. This year we are thrilled to honor the First Congregational Church and their co-pastors, Reverends Marlene and Jake Pomeroy. The church has been in Pasadena since 1885. Their mission as a church is to support those in need, to take care of the community with justice, righteousness, peace, and compassion. And Reverend Marlene is often found in our food pantry, helping in these difficult times. We couldn't be more proud of our partnership with the First Congregational Church, so please enjoy this video with Reverends Jake and Marlene.
I believe the first encounter we had was when we were asked to participate in the Thanksgiving service. That was my first introduction to Friends Indeed. And then slowly, as we began to get to know Pasadena and what the resources were, we began to hear more about the work of Friends Indeed. But I think then you were the first one to be asked to be on the board.
A woman in our congregation had been the chair or the president of the board at Friends Indeed and was very proud of the organization, very proud of the way in which it called churches and parachurch organizations together. We were told by a few of the sort of senior persons in our congregation that they were proud of their involvement in the community, and Friends Indeed in particular was a ministry and a group that they really wanted us to be a part of. So probably after attending meetings for a couple of years on and off, I was asked to be and agreed to be on the board for 6 or 7 years in a couple of different capacities. It was very easy to connect with the mission and the work of Friends Indeed because for a long time I'd been interested, even before I began in seminary, to work with persons in need.
I'm particularly moved about not only what Friends Indeed offers, but the way in which it offers it. When I served on the board, I had a chance to look behind the scenes and see how the organization ran, who the staff was, how they treated volunteers as well as clients. And the more time I spent with Friends Indeed, the more I was impressed with not only what you provided, but the way you provided it. I can just think of countless examples of people taking a moment to talk with somebody, to go beyond the service at the moment, to spend some time with somebody. So just the way the services are delivered is very moving to me.
Friends Indeed, it is one of the few organizations that year in and year out does the hands-on, get your uniform dirty work of advocating for, serving, keeping company with, and empowering persons who are in need.
The great thing about this organization is by volunteering at places like the Bad Weather Shelter, church members are able to actually see people who are on the edge in our community. And I can't tell you how many times over the years someone has said to me afterwards, I had no idea. I had no idea how many people were hungry or on the streets or hurting. I think I knew it in my head, but not until I actually went and served a meal and laid out cots and watched all the people who were caring for them did I realize the extent of how many people were hurting.
As wonderful as the resources are in the city of Pasadena, the need is just as great. And so I think Friends Indeed has been brave in being willing to open a women's room, in being willing to tackle an impossible problem, which is homelessness.
If someone were to ask me, why do you spend your time and your resources with Friends Indeed, I would say, because I really trust this organization to care for people and to do what they need to do to raise money and to offer resources to anybody who walks in their door, and to do it with just an incredible amount of integrity.
To be honored for our congregation's participation in partnering with Friends Indeed is gratifying. This kind of work, outreach work, partnership work, work with persons in need, work with persons who are on the edge, is pretty thankless. There aren't television programs devoted to it. There aren't gleaming awards that are lifted up for this kind of service. And everyone who works in this arena has another job and has their own family, their own demands, their own needs. So for the organization to stop and reflect and recognize year after year persons in this community that have tried to help is really lovely. It's flattering not simply for us as leaders, but for our whole congregation.
We have three core values of our church: hospitality, spirituality, and justice seeking. And I will say that the justice seeking is a really important part of our church identity. And so to be honored for our contributions is very gratifying, and it tells me that we're doing the work that we're called to do. We're called to not only gather and be joyful and be a church community, but to help other people's lives be better.